welcome to my Liverpool wrap-up type thing. Yes, I can't imagine there's going to be a huge amount of desire to watch this at the moment with what's going on, but we'll plough on anyway. So yeah, basically, I'm just going to talk about. By the way, before we start, I'm really sorry about the glare in my glasses if it's really annoying. I have been all over our house trying to find a suitable location to stop the glare, and basically, I'm not having any success of any kind whatsoever. It's like some sort of sun house at the minute, so apologies about that. Let me try and see if I can adjust myself. Yeah, I think that's about the best we're going to get. Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the obviously what happened at the weekend, as per usual. Like, I used to love doing these shows; they were really cool because we just won all the time, basically, and now it's just like a massive pile of poo, basically. But yeah, now I'm just going to talk about the weekend, some bits and pieces, and what's to come. I mean, obviously, immediately we've got Crystal Palace, which I'll get onto this in a minute, but that game from being, I won't say not important, every match that Liverpool Football Club play is important, but because of realistically what the league is now, the Crystal Palace match has gone from not particularly important to super important, just in my opinion. But I'll get onto that in a minute. Just to say, as per usual, this will be available on YouTube podcasts. Well, YouTube audio basically. It's just under Geek Boy Does Liverpool. No, it isn't. It's under Geek Boy a Liverpool Story. So that's the podcast link, and it'll be available as a video on YouTube videos whenever YouTube get around to processing it. Which I imagine would be sort of tomorrow morning / early afternoon. Fingers crossed, anyway. Um, for those of you who want to fester in doom and yes, all things Liverpool, basically. But there we go. Yeah, wow, that glasses thing is really annoying. Right, I'm just going to try moving the camera one more time, guys. Nope, that's done nothing. Right, basically, I've written down a few things to talk about. So, I mean, the first thing is, by the way, anyone who's watching me, I tell all this to my subscribers. If you ever see me turning that way, it's because I am not the cleverest guy in the world and I can't remember all this off the top of my head. So, out of shop, there is a big old laptop with all my notes and stuff, basically. So, that's why I'm doing that. Right. So, basically, from the weekend, look, let's have it right. The league isn't over. Oh, hi Grace Taylor. How you doing? You all right? Thanks for joining. So the league isn't over in terms of a competition. In terms of our title defense, how to put this? Whilst maybe not over, I would have thought the fat lady is making her way up a podium and is polishing off her vocal cords. It's going to be astonishingly difficult now for Liverpool to win the Football League. Hi, Leonardo, you all right? Astonishingly difficult. I went through this the other day. So basically, even with my maths, which is appalling, Liverpool have 29 games left, right? They're 7 points behind Arsenal, with Arsenal to play at the Emirates. So you know where this is going. Off the top of my head, for Liverpool to get to 94 points, which you would imagine would be enough, but maybe still not be enough. Liverpool need to win something along the lines of 25 to 26 games out of 29 matches. And probably one of those draws would have to be at Arsenal at the Emirates. Look, I mean, obviously we've all seen Liverpool do this before. Obviously, we've made very bad starts in the league previously, and then we've come within a point of Manchester City. Oh, thank you very much, Grace. Thank you. That is appreciated. Thank you very much. I hope you'll like this one as well, but I wouldn't have thought you will, to be honest. It's going to be very depressing. But yeah, 26 wins at 29 and 2 defeats at most, and maybe, or like, I don't know, 3 draws and 1 defeat or something like that. Basically, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but Liverpool basically now are in a situation where they cannot lose another league game until, I would say, at bare minimum January, and they're going to have to win at least 7 to 8 of the matches. And this is the point. I don't know where our next draw's coming from, let alone a win. The thing I didn't understand about Saturday was we played so well against Frankfurt, and I mean, obviously Frankfurt are a Bundesliga team, very good footballers, not the best in the world, but you would imagine if you put them in the Premier League, they would be, I don't know, a place or two higher than Brentford, maybe 3 or 4 places. Maybe they'd be, I don't know, top 9, top 8 Premier League teams, possibly top 10. And then they go to Brentford and produce that. I mean, honestly, that team from the Frankfurt win to the Brentford loss was unrecognisable. And I'm not going to go through the whole match because I already did it on my live match report, which you can see on the channel, should you wish. It was very depressing. Although, randomly, for some reason, there was about 250 people that watched it and really liked it, which was a bit weird, but still. Let's have a look. Ali... sorry, I'm just going to call you Ali because I've got loads of sun in my eyes, dude, and I can't really see, and my glasses are not for you-know-what. So, what's up? How you doing, Ali? You're all right? Sarah said hi. Hi, Sarah. You okay? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I mean, what I'm getting at, folks, basically, is I don't understand how you can go from that brilliant performance, our best performance of the season, where you totally wiped the floor with a Champions League team who are one of the top 7 best in the Bundesliga and were one of the top 3 or 4, wherever Frankfurt finished last season, and then produce that pile of droppings, basically. I'm going to try not to swear today because I dropped a couple of I think I may have dropped the F-bomb on one of my live reactions, which I try not to do because the kids watching and stuff, so I do apologise. But, like, yeah, I mean, it was diabolical. I mean, the moment Brentford scored after 4 minutes, and we'd heard all week, do not concede from a throw-in comes in, boom, completely misfired defence, Brentford 1-0 up. And basically, I mean, I kind of watched the rest of it in and out, but I mean, I knew we'd lost from the moment we conceded. I was just like, yeah, there's no chance. And that's not me giving up. I'll always get behind the lads and give them the benefit of the doubt because the lads have come back from some ridiculous situations over the years. But you know, when you get one of those feelings, I was just like, nah, this ain't happening, not a chance. So basically, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because, hey, man, how much did your registration at comedy school cost, dude? I would politely suggest you should ask for a refund. Let me have a look. Let's get rid of Arman. Yeah, there we go. Arman's gone. Crawled into his cave somewhere, I would have thought. Anyway, yes, so the reason I'm saying, folks, why it's so important Wednesday is because if you look at the league now, I would say, look, we still have to play well in the leagues. We have to get Champions League qualification. Look, let's have it right. That's going to be difficult now as it is because, I mean, you've got Bournemouth, you've got Palace, you've got Tottenham, you've got Newcastle, you've got Aston Villa, who we are now playing, who have just beat Manchester City. You've got City, you've got Arsenal, Sunderland. I mean, I don't think Sunderland will qualify for the Champions League, but I mean, they've got 3 or 4 points more than us. I mean, why the hell not? The point is, I could see this being an 8 or 9 team race for the Champions League spots, let alone the league. So we have to make sure that we improve in the league, let alone the title. Otherwise, we won't get a Champions League place. And we must, at the worst this season, make sure we are in Europe. I mean, obviously, I don't really want to be in the Europa League, but I mean, folks, look, if this gets any worse, beggars can't be choosers. If we go into the league, the Europa League or the Conference League, tough luck. I mean, obviously, you would play a very heavily rotated side if it was the Conference League, but I mean, we need some form of European football for the revenue alone. So, and also as well, I suppose it would be like fish in a barrel because, I mean, technically, you would imagine that Liverpool should be winning the Conference League. Anyway, look, I don't want to be in the Conference League. The point is, we are now in a position where we cannot be trophy picking basically, and picking and choosing which competitions we wish to saunter in and do our thing. No, I mean realistically now we are down to 3 trophies. Um, Also as well, just to add to that, the FA Cup in my lifetime. So I'm 40. How old am I? 45. And I've supported the Reds since 1990. Right. In that time, I could be wrong about this. I think we've won the FA Cup 4 times, and at least a quarter of those we've been knocked out by lower league opposition. I would say half we haven't been beyond round 4. And other than the cup wins, we've maybe got an additional 2 or 3 semi-finals. Basically, what I'm getting at is Liverpool and the FA Cup. Look, I love the FA Cup, and it's my favourite competition in the world, still to this day, because I'm an old man. But our record in the FA Cup is diabolical, basically. I would actually have more faith Liverpool winning the Champions League than the FA Cup. That's how bad we are. Then you look at, well, okay, Liverpool still got the Champions League. How the hell are these going to win the Champions League at the minute? I mean, are they beating Paris Saint-Germain for the Champions League? I mean, this was last season we got outplayed. I don't think so. So the whole point is the League Cup now, if you want a trophy, as well as a European place, is, I wouldn't go to the extent of vital, but it's certainly not something that can be chucked away. Which leads to basically my next point. Who the hell are we actually playing on Wednesday? I know we're playing Palace, obviously, but I mean, in terms of the team, I haven't got a clue. I've tried 3 or 4 times to put together an appropriate team, and I've kind of come up with like a hybrid of a rested team and a strong team, if you see what I mean. Because obviously the priority for this week is Aston Villa, because these matches get progressively harder. So I was actually quite excited about the Villa match a couple of weeks ago, and now Villa are on fire, other than losing the Europa League game, which is just not helpful at all. 3 days after that, we've got Real Madrid, and like 5 days after that, we're at Man City away. So, folks, this could go very, very wrong before the international break. I mean, I'm not going to start speculating about the manager, because I still think that's highly ridiculous. I mean, Arne has earned a bad season after what he did last season. And the one thing I would say to people is, folks, he's had to manage a death of a footballer, and I don't want to keep bringing Diogo up, because it's not fair to him, and it's not fair to the players, and it's not fair to Arne. But you have to factor it in as a consideration. I lost my dad like 25, 26 years ago. And from experience, I can tell you it took at least a year and a half for me to feel even remotely human again. And these lads are like basically being thrown out onto a football field, and they've got to play every 3 goes. It might not be affecting them at all, who knows? But oh, the sun's gone in actually. Let me see. No, I've still got the glasses going. Let me have a look. I wonder. Is that any better? Nope. Nope. Useless glasses today. Sorry guys, I'm just going to try something, because that is really annoying, to be honest. Yeah, so while I'm messing about, folks, basically what I'm saying is, long story short, nope, still there. I give up today, I really do. This is why I usually do these things at night. So in terms of a team, I've had a quick go, because I think we need to play a strong team, but I'm also conscious of the fact that we need to rest some of the players, because even though they are performing horrendously, that doesn't take away the tiredness factor and the recovery. You've still got, you can't just keep throwing them out and saying, you're not winning, go and win, blah, 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 because they will need a rest the same way they would need a rest if we were winning football matches. So with that being said, this is my team for Wednesday. By the way, shout out to the missus, because she got called into work on the Wednesday this week, and I was actually due to try and get tickets for Liverpool versus Crystal Palace in hospitality. Given what's happening at the minute, thank God for a broken leg. No, not really. But yeah, thank God she's got to cover a shift, basically. Anyway, team for Wednesday is, and just bear with me on this because it's going to be a little bit weird, Freddie Woodman, Conor Bradley, Canate, Gomez, Verts, McAllister, Endo, Rio Ingamoa, Hugo Ekitike, and Chiesa. Now, just to go for, hi Johnny, you all right? Stop making excuses like the other team had too many throwing is funny. Well, like I said, Johnny, I've spoke about this before, and it's one of my bugbearers. And it used to annoy the hell out of me when Klopp said it, and when Sir Alex has said it, and when Jose said it, and people like that when they're just like, these people put a low block in against us. This isn't fair. Blah blah blah. It's part of football. You get on with it. That's what you paid for, Arna, Sir Alex, Jose, whoever moans about this. I made this point when we beat when we beat Burnley. And there were quite a few of our fans giving Burnley like daggers, basically going, "Oh, they just put 11 men behind the ball." It's like, well, what do you expect them to do? Oh, they should come out and fight. It's just like, yeah. So, folks, even if we were playing badly, if Burnley thought to themselves, "We're going to go real good go at this and leave ourselves open at the back," if Liverpool were playing well, and I don't mean this disrespectfully for Burnley, I mean it would be a massacre. If Burnley did that against Man City or Arsenal, it would be a complete massacre. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's not for people to tell us, any football fan, any football club, how they should play. If Burnley want to put 11 men behind the ball at their own stadium with their own manager, then that's their God-given bloody right, as far as I'm concerned. Crack on, get on with it. I mean, there's plenty of things I don't like doing at work and this, that, and the other, but you have to get on with it. That's just part of life. So if people wish to play 3-team buses and a spaceship in front of the goal, tough luck. You find a way around it to nuke the Death Star. That was a really bad analogy, but you get where I'm coming from. Sino, you'll never walk alone. Hi Sino, you're all right. He's basically complaining about teams not rolling over and letting us win crazy. Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of sounding like that at the minute, but like I said, Johnny, that was my one issue with Klopp. He did used to leave these very sarcastic little digs in himself about that sort of thing. And it's like, well, Jurgen, I'm sorry. I mean, this isn't me having a go at Jurgen. He's like my favourite person in the history of the world. But that was my own. I didn't mind him running onto the pitch. I didn't mind him getting in the other manager's face. I had backed him for all that. But my one complaint about you, well, apart from the FA Cup replay thing, I didn't agree with him on that at all. Hi Darcy, you're all right. The one thing that I always disagreed with him on was basically having a go at opposition putting people behind the ball. And it's like, folks, you've got to get on with it at the end of the day. Anyway, off my soapbox, back to what I was speaking about. So the reason I've just given that team, and you might all be going, what on earth are you doing playing Freddie Woodman? Right, there is a reason behind the madness, folks. I know Mamadashvili's only played 4 or 5 games for us. I have a slight concern, which I think is legitimate, about Alisson Becker. I could be completely wrong about this, but the conversation seems to have gone from, well, Ali should be in and around the national break to we're going to have to see. I'm slightly concerned Ali's injury is slightly worse than we thought. So the reason I'm picking Freddie Woodman is the last thing we need. I don't mean this rudely towards Woodman. Hi, Paul. You're all right. How you doing, mate? I don't mean this rudely towards Freddie Woodman whatsoever. If we're in a situation where, say, Mamadashvili comes out as Mateta's going for a goal, does his hamstring, instead of playing Woodman for one match, we could be having Freddie Woodman in goal for potentially 7 to 10 matches going into Christmas. I'm sure he's a very competent goalkeeper, and he looked quite decent in the pre-season friendlies, but then that would also lead into a situation where that young lad that we signed from Hungary for whatever it was, £1 million, would be the backup goalkeeper, and he's like, what, 17, 18 years old? So, yeah, I'm just future-proofing, basically. So, I would not play Gio. I would play Freddie Woodman. I don't think Arna's going to do that, but, look, we'll have to wait and see. Conor Bradley, he's got to play because there's no other right-back. Simple as that. Joe Gomez, I was going to play him and Endo. You know what I mean? I would have picked him and Endo at the centre-back, but we're now short in midfield because of all the injuries, because we've now lost bloody Curtis Jones as well. So I'm going with Gomez, and I would do like some sort of switch with Canate. So I'd play Canate for a half. I'd be tempted to throw one of the younger lads in. If Konate can make it through the match, fine. But you've also got to protect him with Villa in mind, and I honestly don't know at the moment with his performances whether it's the best of ideas to be throwing him in League Cup matches. I don't know. So that's one where it save Palace like something ridiculous, like 3 or 4 nil up. I would literally just get Ahmed Nallo or even Reece Williams and just say, look, you play, or even drop Endo back at that point because obviously Endo's just come back from injury himself. I mean, that's the other thing. Endo's been injured as well, which people don't seem to realise. In terms of midfield, I would have gone with Trainioni, but again, he's just come back from injury, ironically, as well. If you actually look beneath the surface, the amount of injuries we've got now, I wouldn't say it's outrageous, but it's not great. In respect of Allison, Frimpong, Curtis Jones, Trainioni has just come back, so that's not an injury anymore. Ryan Gravenberch, we have no idea if he's fit. I'm missing someone. Alexander Isak. And yeah, we're now at that really delicate stage where, like, I know we've only got 2 weeks till the next wretched international break. However, we're going to have to start thinking seriously about protecting 1 or 2 players. But like I said, this has now become quite important. So honestly, I don't know what we're going to do. But my midfield, like I said, I'd go with Vert. The only reason I'm going with Verts in a League Cup match is he needs a goal or an assist. So with Florian Wirtz, I know it's frustrating for a lot of people. I would just keep playing him for now until he hits top form. McAllister obviously hasn't played that much. I'd play him from the start and I'd play him the whole 90. Wataru Endo, definitely. Federico Chiesa, this is the one thing I'm having to go at with Arna. Arna, this is getting a bit ridiculous now. Like, I know it was all quite funny at the start with, isn't Chiesa doing well? It's like, guys, look, I'm not being funny if you look. Statistically, he's been one of our best players this season. I don't know if his body can take it, but if it can, Federico Chiesa needs to be starting for Liverpool. Not every single time, but he needs to starting for Liverpool. Now, whether the manager is protecting him for the African nations when Federico theoretically could be replacing Salah, I don't know. But, I mean, I'm not sure what Fedi's stats are, but I think it's something along the lines of he's played, 8 matches as sub, 9 matches as sub, 1 start, and he's got 5, 6 assists and 3 goals and 2 man of the match performances. I mean, there's not a great deal more he could do with his time on the field. He nearly got us a point at Crystal Palace. So yeah, I'd go with Chiesa definitely. I'd definitely give Rio Ingamoa a run out because obviously everyone's losing their heads, and Rio Ingamoa is a 17, 18-year-old lad. 17, so he's not going to feel the pressure. He'll just be like, cool, I get to play football. And I'd just go with Hugo. I would just keep Hugo Ekitike now for every single game until he needs a rest, quite honestly, because I would have gone with Isak to try and get him his goal. But obviously he's now injured as well, which this is so annoying because obviously Isak needs to be then brought back after the international break, get up to speed again, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm nearly at the stage, folks, with Alexander Isak. I don't mean this rudely to him because obviously he's had no pre-season. He's been injured, blah, 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 blah. I think we've pretty much got to accept with Isak that it's the second season when he's going to be delivering for Liverpool. If someone offered me 12 goals for Alexander Isak across all competitions, I'd take it now because I think he's going to be struggling to get 10, to be honest, with the injuries and settling into the team and so on and so forth. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, to be honest. Let me just have a look. So yeah, I don't know what anyone thinks, but obviously just let me know in the comments if you're listening on YouTube podcasts, and also if you're watching this video the next day or now if you want to, or whatever, what your team would be. I mean, I would, even if Gravenberch's fit, he's the one that I wouldn't play. Because, I mean, a lot of it all depends on what Crystal Palace do as well. I mean, are they going to go big? I mean, Palace have got the taste for winning trophies now, and I mean, I know they're in the Conference League as well, but if they beat us, I mean, they're into the quarterfinals. If they get a decent draw, again, I mean, I don't even know who's in the draw, but let's say they get a home tie again, a home tie against Grimsby, because I think Grimsby's still in, aren't they? Then they're into the semis, and then who knows? So it depends how seriously Palace take it. I suspect they probably will take it quite seriously. And like I said at the minute, the next 4 matches, I mean, again, if someone was to offer me two, I can't believe I'm actually even saying this, 2 wins and 2 defeats, I'd deal on it now. I'd say fine. If someone said, right, an unlucky loss against Manchester City via a penalty, and I don't know, losing tomorrow and then beating Real Madrid and Aston Villa in the middle of all of it, I would rip your hand off for it right now, because frankly I don't see us winning any of them. And the trouble is, if we don't win any of them, you're talking the Man City form last season going into the November international break. Because off the top of my head, you'd be talking like what, a couple of wins and a draw out of 10 matches. And then I know people are going for Arna at the minute. I don't agree personally. Obviously, anyone on the channel, it's fine. If you want Arna slot out, I'm not telling you how to think. That's fine. Everyone's got their opinion. Cool, not a problem. It becomes a very, very real live issue if we do not win any of the next 4 games. If we went into the international break with a record of something stupid like 8 or 9 losses out of 11, then it does turn into a conversation. Then if you come back, I mean, to be honest, the other side of the international break, I've just briefly looked, it isn't actually that bad. But in saying that, we can't win anything at the minute. So I think we've got Forest at home, PSV Eindhoven at home, West Ham away. I mean, with the greatest respect to West Ham, one would hope that we would be winning that. Then I get the pleasure of down the road, because I actually live in Leeds. I get the pleasure of being handily trounced to Ellen Road and never hearing the bloody end of it from all the boys. Shout out to them. And then I think we've got another Champions League match and maybe Tottenham. So I mean, it's not the other side of the international break. It's not the worst run of fixtures, but like I said, folks, if we're going to do anything now, and I'm not demanding Liverpool do this, obviously, because I'm not a glory supporter. I've seen us in the bottom 3 and under Gillette and Hicks. I've been to the well. This is not the well, trust me. But if Liverpool are going to do anything this season, I mean, the next 20 matches, realistically, they are going to have to win whatever competition this is. They're going to have to win at least 15, lose no more than 2, possibly 3, and draw 2. That's the run that they need to go on now if they're going to do anything this season. And at the moment, I don't know where that's coming from. I mean, again, feel free to disagree, guys, that are watching, but I seriously do not know where those wins and results are coming from. I've got absolutely no idea. Tony, we need to get rid of Slot ASAP and try and bring in Oliver Glasner. If we can't get him, then give Fabio. I haven't got time to waste. Yeah, fair play, Tony, if that's your opinion. I mean, like I said, I disagree. I know where you're coming from, mate. I disagree just for the fact that the man did win us the Premier League, and I don't know. I just feel very bad personally about firing a Premier League winning manager who also got us to a League Cup final and got us to win a penalty shootout of the quarterfinals of the European Cup, and was also in first place in the Premier League a month ago. The other thing I would point out as well is, obviously, it's not me being patronising to anyone, but I remember in 2017? The season when we qualified for the Champions League, when we beat Middlesbrough, last day of the season. If you go back to that, was it 2017? Yeah, it was 2017. There was a bit when you got into January, and I think we were in first place at Christmas. I think we just beat Watford 6-1. This was under Klopp, and then we won on the most diabolical run that you have ever seen in the history of your life. I think it was, I could be wrong about this, just someone, if someone has a look for us, fine, but I think we lost like something ridiculous, like about 5 matches out of 8 or something like that. And there was an afternoon we lost 2-0 to Hull City. The younger people, believe it or not. Yes, we lost to Hull City. And rightly so as well. We got completely outplayed, and Hull should have scored about 9, let alone the 2-0. And the phone lines, because back in the day it was phone lines, obviously now it's more social media. Hi Mark, you're all right, how you doing, pal? The phone lines on 5 Live blew up. Absolutely blew up. Wanting Klopp out. People were going mental, saying, who is this guy, this, that and the other. And then you cut to, 7 years later, and the bloke's basically got 89 trophies and is one of our greatest managers of all time. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Slot, but I don't think FSG will. Because I've thought about this as well. If you wanted to replace Slot, I'll throw this out there for anyone again, either live or in the video when it gets processed. Who do you want replacing him that is available? Not who you would like, who is available. Because there were these very strange Liverpool fans on threads the other day demanding that we go to Manchester City and basically pay them, I think it was 40 million quid. One was suggesting for Pep Guardiola. I mean, I try not to be rude and patronising towards people. I really, really do try, but I have a deep sarcastic vein in me. And I'm just like, well, number one, where's the 40 million quid coming from? And how are you going to convince Manchester City to let go of one of the best managers in the world? Cuddle them? I mean, seriously, what are we doing here? Obviously, it can't be Xabi Alonso. He manages Real Madrid Football Club, so he ain't going to come. Thomas Frank was the one that's mentioned. He now manages Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, who are third and several points above us at the minute. So he'd probably be like, yeah, I don't really see that. And then you're into Eddie Howe would just not be fit for Liverpool. Now, Eddie Howe is a fantastic coach. It's not me having to go Eddie, but his style and Liverpool style just would not mesh at all, and I just don't think that would be a good fit whatsoever. Unai Emery, again, doing very well at the Villa. What's the release clause? If you go to Villa, what, 25 billion quid? The Borussia Dortmund manager, who seems to be doing all right at the minute, you're not getting him. The Bayern Munich manager, Vincent Kompany, the Manchester City captain, nope. Hansi Flick, manager of Barcelona, I wouldn't have thought so. Because the reason I'm saying the top clubs, folks, is we've got this thing at the moment with like Liverpool need to sign the best. So I'm going for the best football clubs that fans would demand and tolerate. But the fact of the matter is, the reason those managers are in their jobs is because they're the best of the best. I mean, are you going to get Luis Enrique from Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain? I don't think so. Someone suggested Zidane the other day, and I'm just like, well, the man hasn't managed a professional football match in nearly 4 years. I mean, I'm sorry, but no. So if you look through the Premier League, the only person that I can possibly think of where if Slot was sacked for some inexplicable reason is Andoni Areola. I can never pronounce his name properly. Now, I think personally he's going to be a very, very good football manager. And yes, if this did carry on for, like, say, another year and Slot was under massive pressure, I think he would be one of the names on a list. I'm sure FSG have a list. They will have a list in case things go wrong, like most football clubs. Even Arsenal are going to have a list of names to replace Mikel Arteta, who unfortunately is the best manager in the league at the minute, and you can't really dispute it. But all teams are going to have a list of replacements for sporting directors, replacements for managers, replacements for players, coaches, staff, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. Because if they weren't, if they didn't, they wouldn't be doing the jobs correctly at the end of the day. But with that being said, the only one I can possibly think of that's realistic and could do something is Areola from Bournemouth. Now, the trouble is with that, because I've been through all this, yes, you've got Richard Hughes, who was the Bournemouth director, who obviously would have had a personal relationship through Areola. What's your release clause for him at the minute? I mean, it's not just us that's going to be queuing up for him. You've got to also factor in the fact that Pep Guardiola is 2 more years at best. There will be agents and people of that nature going round at the minute, having secret talks with Manchester City and so on and so forth. Whatever happens with these things, sounding out managers now, as stupid as it sounds like. If the possibility came up, would you like to watch Manchester? What am I trying to say? Would you like to manage Manchester City? To which 95% of the working managers in the world would say yes. The likes of Areola would have been sounded out for that already. Possibly Emery, who knows? The coach of my mind's completely gone back now. There was another top club. Anyway, the point is, if you get Areola, for example, you're talking that's a 30 million, 40 million release clause. I would have thought. Maybe not that much, but you're talking at least 25 million quid. Plus, you have to sack Arne Slot. Arne Slot, I would imagine, is going to have a sacking clause. Now, I don't know this, and I'm just literally speculating. I would imagine Arne Slot's sacking clause is going to be at least 15 to 20 million quid. That is 45 million on replacing manager and getting rid of the manager. Is it worth it to do that in mid-season? Let's say, for example, Areola comes in. He doesn't know any of the players. We've got to do a brand new system on the fly when we're trying to qualify for the Champions League and win several trophies. So the question I'd put to everyone listening is that worth it? Or do we sit with Slot? Personally, for me, I'm slotting because, like I said, folks, it's maybe perhaps I'm just being loyal. I don't know. Or naive. Who knows, whatever. Call it whatever you want. But I just can't get behind sacking a bloke who is like what a point off a Champions League place, 3 or 4 points off second, who's just won us the Premier League title and given me personally the best day of my life outside of the birth of my son and meeting my missus. I can't get behind it, folks. Now, one thing I will say is if we were in the realms of 10 to 12 defeats on the bounce and we were considered, look, obviously it goes without saying, if we'd lost 10 or 12 or 13 and we were shipping 5 or 6 goals each matches, then obviously that is not good enough and that's untenable. And then yes, he would have to go, but that's extreme. But who knows? Unfortunately now, I don't think it's a huge possibility, but it's out there in the ether and it is a slight possibility. So there we go. Hi James, you're right. I'm not too bad, mate. How about yourself? Thanks for watching as well, dude, by the way. What else was I going to talk about, folks? I'm not going to talk about Liverpool too much longer, to be honest, because I can feel the depression seeping back into me. And I've just been paid today, and I want to go out and buy nice things and do cool stuff, and I was in a really good mood before I started doing this. Yeah, it's all good. It's fine. Right. Just before I head off, guys. Well, I'm not heading off yet, but well, I'll do a prediction. I think the performance will be better against Palace. I think there might be a penalty shootout style heartbreak. I don't like betting against my own team, folks. I really don't. But I don't, like I said, I'm as well. I should probably clarify as well that I suffer from like stress and anxiety and a slight bit of depression. So I'm not. If you come into me for positivity, I can be a bit more positive than I was. I'm not the guy for like positivity. I'm the guy for like, let's get behind the lads, absolutely, and we support them no matter what. But in terms of like me predicting results, you are asking the wrong person, basically. So yes, I think basically we might go out on penalties, but I really, really hope the lads can win because we need something, anything to go in off someone's arse, to go for someone's eyeball. We need to play dreadfully and get a scrappy 1-0 win, whatever it is. We need to try and win the match. Anyway, before I head off, right, in terms of Liverpool stuff, I'm going to be doing live reaction to the Crystal Palace match on Wednesday, so I'll be back on here. So it's Geek Boy Meta at Geek Boy Meta 7381. By the way, as well, I'm going from on tangents now. I've actually told all my subscribers recently I've just joined Reddit. Why have you joined Reddit for? It's a very good question. Yeah, no, I randomly found out the other day that because I'm like a massive horror movie fan and stuff. In fact, have I got any horror movie things to show you guys? Have I got any horror movie things? No, it's one time I've got no horror movie things. Anyway, I've usually got boatloads basically, but in fact, I'll tell you what. There you go. There you go. Weird little crossover for you. Why on earth was I telling you about the horror movie stuff? I've got no idea. Anyway, so I'll be doing live reaction to the Crystal Palace match on Wednesday, so hopefully that'll be about 10:30 at night, give or take. In terms of Halloween, also as well, by the way, I've got a huge Halloween night planned on the channel, so I've got loads of like YouTube shorts of like horror toys and this, that, and the other. And I've also got a horror story to tell you, at least for Nigerians. I'm going to tell you the spooky story of when Ghana smashed Nigeria 4-1. Ooh. Yeah, I should probably clarify that I'm half Ghanaian, if you've never watched me before, and it was one of the best days of my life. Anyway, but yeah, all that's on Halloween night. I might even do like a Halloween watch along. I was thinking of just watching a horror film like Evil Dead Rise or Wreck or Halloween or something like that on Halloween night, and just like seeing what people were randomly watching them. So I don't know. I haven't quite got that sorted in my head yet. It's probably a daft idea, but still. Yeah. I'll be doing a live reaction to Crystal Palace. In terms of the day after Halloween, so November the 1st, got a bit of a problem with the Aston Villa game because I've got me son's fake birthday before his real birthday. Don't ask. I've got a mate's 40th birthday 1 hour after my son's finishes, which also coincides with Liverpool versus Aston Villa, which also coincides with me getting back from somewhere called Morley in Leeds, where I'm from, back to South Leeds, where I'm actually from, in time to watch WWE Saturday night's main event, which I'm supposed to be doing a live stream of at 3:30 in the morning. So, long story short, I basically what I'm saying is I have no idea if I can do the Aston Villa live stream. I would probably suggest it's very unlikely. Also, I am going to a pub for a mate's 40th birthday. It might not necessarily be the best of ideas if I was performing a live stream after being in those conditions. If you smelt the Rockies cooking. So yeah, if I basically, long story short, I'll leave it on as a live reaction for now. If I can get back in time from whatever it is I'm doing at that point, then yes, I will do the live stream. If not, because I can't do it too late, because Saturday night's main event, which is WWE, by the way, if you're not wrestling attuned, starts, I think, 1 o'clock. So I don't want to be doing a live stream for football while I'm meant to be watching wrestling, if you see what I mean. If not, basically, I will do live reaction to Villa and Liverpool at some point on the Sunday, maybe the Sunday morning, afternoon, or something like that, or maybe even the evening. But yeah, just leave that one with us, and I will let you know, and hopefully I'll be on. And then after that, Liverpool-wise, I'll be doing a preview of Real Madrid. I'm just trying to think this in my head, actually. The day before Madrid, which is on the 3rd, which is on my son's birthday, which is going to be a bit difficult. And then I'll actually be going to watch Real Madrid with my brother and a few of the lads at the Boozer, and then I'll be doing obviously I'll do match reports, and I might do some halftime stuff as well while I'm there. Because I don't usually get to watch it live a lot of the time. A lot of the time with my analysis, I have to like basically go back and watch the match due to like family commitments and stuff. So yeah, hopefully I'll be doing a live reaction to Madrid, so that would be in what, 10 days time. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but I would imagine sort of maybe like 11, 11:30, something along them lines. And then obviously just before the international break, there's the Man City game. Again, I'm going to go and see that live. I might do some live bits and pieces at the Boozer as well. I'm going to go and watch it at the Oak. If anyone knows it, at the Oak at Headingley. And then there'll be a live reaction to that at like, I don't know, it'd be half 10, 11:30. So yeah, there's loads of Liverpool stuff, content coming up. Like I said, I was actually meant to be going to see Crystal Palace, but sadly my missus has been called in to do something, which means I can't go. But stay tuned to the channel, because I might possibly potentially be able to go to the Leeds match down the road. I'll have to sneak in with a giant moustache and like put an overcoat over my head just in case. But there's possibilities of either PSV or Sunderland, possibly at Anfield. I'm not sure, but obviously it goes without saying, if I do go, then there'll be a vlog and a match report and a live reaction from Liverpool. So just bear with us on that one. I don't know how that's going to work, so I need to speak to people, because obviously it's going to have to be on hospitality, because I haven't got a season ticket. And hospitality is very, very expensive. But yeah, I might be able to seat loader, I think. And yeah, that's most of the Liverpool stuff, folks, to be honest. In terms of what I'm doing over the next few days, so the next time, I'm just having a look at my schedule. Right, I'm going to be watching Monday Night Raw if you're one of the pro wrestling fans that follow me. There is an outside chance I might be able to watch it live this morning, because I've actually got a week off, which is awesome. If not, it will be at the 10:30 slot on Tuesdays per usual, but I'll let you guys know. I've got a boatload of stuff that I need to go and do now, basically, today. So if I can get it all done, I might stay up for Monday Night Raw. If not, I'll do it at 10:30. Crystal Palace reaction is at 10:30 on Wednesday. AEW Dynamite, because I'm a massive AEW fan as well. That's going to be Thursday at 10:30. Like I said, Friday's usually Toy Shots Friday. This week it's a special one, so I've got loads of like horror themed toys and collectibles, because as you can see behind me, I'm a bit of a geek, if you don't know, hence the name. And I love collecting toys, and especially horror toys and this, that, and the other. So that will be on Friday. There's also going to be the Ghana story of when we beat Nigeria, as like a bit of a snarky horror tale for especially for Nigerians, not so much for Ghanaians. So that'll be on as well. I may do a watch along of a horror film. I haven't decided yet. Saturday, like I said, I will definitely be covering Saturday night's main event for WWE. Hi Mark, you alright again? How you doing, pal? I'll definitely be covering Saturday night's main event for WWE, so that'll be about 2:30 in the morning on Sunday morning. And like I said, if I don't do Liverpool Villa reaction on Saturday, that will be on Sunday. So basically, I'm going to be on. Then I'm doing the live Liverpool pod. Then I've got Real Madrid next week. Then I'm doing AEW. Yeah, basically, I'm going to be on for like most of the next 10 days. I'm usually on most days anyway. If you check out the what am I trying to say? If you check out the channel, basically, I usually do like some daft shorts or comments and this, that, and the other. So I'm usually on most days of the week. So, like I said, I've said this before, but if you like football, pride, especially horror, like I said, I absolutely love horror. Pro wrestling, what else do I like? Comic cons, toy hunts, Liverpool, blah 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 blah. There's loads of stuff, and I do a couple of podcasts as well. And one of this ends up in a podcast, basically, if you see what I mean. Again, it's Geek Boy, a Liverpool story, to listen to the podcast. So yeah. Hello, Mark. Do you like rugby? I used to play rugby, Mark. Actually, funnily enough, not very well. I used to be a prop forward in Derby at a school in Alistry in 1991, and the reason I kind of went off rugby, and I know it's really, really stupid reason, is because I was quite a big lad, and I'm a big lad now. What the teachers would do, they'd get all these younger skinny lads, literally whenever I got thrown the ball, and they'd basically all jump on me every single time, and I'd just be like, I know they've got to teach that, obviously, because that's what you've got to do in rugby, obviously it goes without saying, but I'm just like, there are other people getting the ball, like, why do you keep jumping on me for? It's like, because they need to learn to take out the bigger guy. It's like, yeah, but the bloke that's just scored has just run off, and you've got 9 people jumping on me, and they've completely missed the rugby. But so yeah, not so much Mark anymore. I used to watch. I used to watch the Five Nations, not the Six Nations as it is now, but I used to watch the Five Nations with like when I'm trying to think of the players, when it was like Will Carling, Jeremy Guscott, Delalio. They didn't play the same team, obviously, I don't think. But yeah, I used to watch it in the early 90s with my old fella, because it used to be on like live for BBC One, which I think it still is, or is it on Sky? I forget. But yeah, I used to watch it quite a bit, and I used to watch it in Leeds. Obviously, we've got Leeds Rhinos up here. Shout out to oh my god, I feel really bad. I can't remember his name. What are you doing? the gentleman who was the player for Leeds Rhinos, who sadly passed away, and I forgot his name completely because he was a wonderful, wonderful. But I do apologise, anyone watching. By the way, I have a bit of an issue brain-wise where I just forget things basically. But yeah, you know how I mean, basically. Yes, I used to watch it quite a bit actually, but like not so much like the last 10, 15 years, to be completely honest. So yeah. Cricket, not really, mate, no. Although I did love the England match against New Zealand, where I forget who it was. I don't know if it was not Flintoff. I forget who the bloke's name is. The ginger one who literally like, had to jump in the air with his cricket bat and like the obviously fielder threw the ball back in, and I forget who the fellow's name was, but like he literally threw out his cricket bat and it hit the ball and it like missed the wickets. And even that I was getting into because they actually did that in Headingley, which is around the corner from where I am. That I did enjoy that cricket match, but I don't think I could sit there and watch a test. I mean, I know a lot of the lads a lot of my lads like doing it because they can basically go to the boozer and like get themselves tanked and don't actually end up watching the cricket, which is just like, why would you pay for something that you don't watch but stuff? But yeah, not so much cricket though. Yeah. Like I said, folks, I'm just trying to think if I need to tell you anything else. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Yes, I do like football. I'm a Liverpool fan, which is what the podcast is basically. I think that's about it, folks. To be honest, I don't think I've got really much else to say. Like I said, just thank you everyone for watching. That's been really cool for everyone interacting. Like I said, next time I'll be on, leave it with us. I will either be watching Monday Night Raw, early hours of the morning, like 2:30 in the morning, or I'll be on sort of tomorrow night about 10:30, and then the next time, as I say, I'm on for Liverpool will be for Newcastle fan. I bet you're having a good laugh at the moment, aren't you? You got the better end of that deal, mate, didn't you? So can we swap Isaac back with it? No, I'm only joking. No, fair play to Newcastle. They've actually come out of that whole thing with a better deal. So yeah, no, fair play. Like I say, I like Newcastle's class city as well. I absolutely love Newcastle. I did actually have a vlog of going around St James's Park. I'll just leave you with this kind of funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the time. So I'd done this vlog and I'm wandering around St James's Park and I put it all together. And then it was when I first started YouTube. I put it on the YouTube channel. So this is when I just started. It was about a month ago. So this is about 3 years ago, whatever it was. And I showed it to one of my mates who's a Newcastle fan. And he was like, "Oh, have a look at this, dude." And he texted me back. And he was really good about it. It's like, "It's okay, dude, but you might want to take a second look at it." Just saying. And I look at it again, and basically, I'd filmed the whole vlog upside down. I was just like, "What the?" So you know, when you do the camera like that, and you like that way, basically. I think I'd done it the opposite way round, so I thought it was actually recording, but I'd actually done it all upside down, basically. So yeah. Oh, sorry, Mark. I do apologise. That's horrible. That is. Right, Mark Cole Clough. Right, honest question. Do you think Arne Slot got sacked? Mark said hi. Hi, Mark. Like I said, Mark. Just for a head off. In my opinion, no, I would not sack him. Like I said again, I just can't get behind like some. I just keep going back to this. A bloke who in the last 4 years has won 2 league titles, one of which was the Premier League in his first year, has got us to a League Cup final, who as of a month ago was 5 points clear in the Premier League. I can't go from that to like literally a month later him being the worst manager of all time. I think there's a lot of factors. I mean, Arne Slot is not responsible for people basically not marking at throw-ins and corners. He can do as much as he can do on the training ground, and he can shout until he's blue in the face, basically saying, guys, you can't keep conceding the first goal. And I'm sure he does do that, but I mean, I don't. Short of Arne Slot going on the pitch and booting someone up the arse, I'm not really sure what more he can do to tell the players, to be quite frank. So no, not for me, not for me, Mark. Like I said again, folks. If you listen to this afterwards, whatever. If you've got a different opinion from me, I'm not here to judge. If you want Arne Slot gone, cool. I'm not one of these. I'm not going to say you're ridiculous or anything. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and everyone's got a valid opinion. But just in my opinion, no, not for me. I can't have the fella being sacked after a poor run of form. But we shall see, because I mean, it depends what It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what the sports think. It matters what Mr. Henry thinks. And if Mr. Henry is not best pleased with his investment going to crap, then maybe he does have a conversation with the manager. Sadly, I don't know. All I'd say is, just to end, is folks, we need to try and get behind the boys. Again, I just want to reiterate, and I'm not using it as an excuse, like I said before, but having been someone that went through several tragedies in my life that's affected me, I can't stress how hard it is. And a lot of you will know, who have had tragedies and deaths yourself, you know how difficult it is coming back from that, and to ask players not to think about Diogo, and it's not an excuse, it's just a fact. Some of those players will be hurting, and maybe they're not showing, and they're all being polite in the media, but there is not a chance that at least one of those 30 odd footballers and maybe 20 coaches and staff are not putting their personal lives suffering with this. So just, try and don't accept them losing, obviously, because we need to get back to reality a little bit, and obviously they need to be criticised the same as any other footballer, but just give them a chance. They are the league champions at the end of the day, and yeah, just try. You can criticise. I've criticised them to the hilt. By the way, I'm really sorry it's dark, by the way. It's now gone really dark because I've got rid of the sun after all this, and now I'm in the dark. Yeah, but just criticise them, have a go at them, shout at them, but no personal attacks, because that thing on Mo Salah last week was outrageous. It was absolutely outrageous to speak to the man in that manner after what that man has done for this football club, and it's tried his arse off, and just because he's having a very bad period, and yes, I agree, Mo Salah has been appalling this season. Um, to get it to the point where Mo Salah wants to leave Liverpool Football Club, if that's even a thing. Hopefully, he doesn't want to leave us. But to get it to the stage where he's that annoyed and angry is so poor. So just no personal attacks. Criticise the team by all thing. At the end, I have as well. I've just gone about how we can't win the title. Maybe we can still win the title. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think it's gone. I've 7 points in front of Arsenal, and we've got to play them at the Emirates. You're talking that's potentially a 10-point swing. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, just try and get behind him either way. Mark, how can he turn this around though? I heard Jurgen Klopp would be interested in coming back to Liverpool. Yeah, to be honest, Mark, with that, I actually did a video. If you want to check that out, on the channel. I watched the whole of Diary of a CEO with hi Real Best, you're right. Sorry, I'm really struggling to see now because I'm actually in the I might actually have to possibly get up and turn the light on, but like my light switch is like a million miles over there basically, so I'll just lean a bit more. I watched all of Diary of the CEO, Mark, and to be honest, I was actually quite annoyed at the amount of media outlets who basically were saying Jurgen Klopp confirms he's coming back to Liverpool. And if you actually watch the clip, I mean, he said nothing of the sort. He basically said something along the lines of, I said that I would never manage another team in the UK, which obviously does not include Liverpool. I'm paraphrasing himself now, but like, so if you take that statement, theoretically, it is possible. Now, I said this the other day. Theoretically, I could fly over to Los Angeles, knock at, and meet Charlize Theron at a party and ask her to marry me, and theoretically, she could say yes. Now, am I going to go to Los Angeles on a plane that I can't afford, find Charlize Theron, ask her to marry, and she says yes? No, because that is not going to happen. Well, I mean, I could give it a go, I suppose. But, yeah, no, it ain't going to happen at the end of the day, and that's the point. So, yeah, would I love Jurgen to come back one day? Absolutely. But then you've got to think, obviously, he's getting older. Does he want to put himself back in that position? Because he was exhausted at the time. Obviously, he's got new players to work with. Would it ever be the same as it was before? I mean, there's a lot of things if with Klopp came back that would have to change. And I don't think he will personally, but look, I'm sure if we were ever in a dire situation and someone rang Jurgen Klopp, he would be on the first flights to try and help us. I have no doubt about that. But would he come back permanently as a manager? I don't think he would, mate, for me personally. But it's definitely an interesting thing there. And also, that's probably not helped Slot, because that's in a lot of at the back of people's minds now as well, that Jurgen is. I mean, I said this the other day. Theoretically, he could break his contract with RB, and he could. I mean, if RB turned around and said, "Oh, well, we're going to have to sue you for compensation for like 3 million," it's like, well, Jurgen's got that in the back of his pocket in his sofa. You know what I mean? So, plus he'd be compensated by Liverpool. So, I mean, I don't think it'd be that difficult for him to break out. At the end of the day, he's just a consultant for RB. I know he does a lot more than that, but yeah, it's definitely something to think about anyway, mate. But I didn't ever think a month ago that we would be having these sort of discussions. But it's, yeah, shows how much football can change. Anyway, guys, right. I'm going to head off. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. It's been really cool, actually. Thanks for interacting as per usual. Sorry about the lights, by the way. Yeah, I will try and do better. Like I said, I might be back on. What time are we on? 2 o'clock now. Right. Potentially, I might be back on in about 13 hours time for Monday Night Raw, but just leave that with us. I'm not sure, because basically, I know this has nothing to do with Liverpool Football Club, but basically it's payday and I need to go and do a boatload of stuff, pay some bills, possibly go and get some food for the first time today, potentially a couple of glasses of the red stuff, and also go downstairs and figure out what my family are doing, because I've left them unsupervised for 2 hours and I have no idea what they're doing. Anyway, cool. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Cheers. Thanks a lot, mate. See you too as well. Right, I'll read this last one. Spirit Brothers, Spirit Brother. Yeah, we spoke the other day, didn't we? Well, I was wrong with my team prediction. Wow, was a shambles the last month has been for us. Oh, dude, it's been horrendous, mate. It's been sorry, Spirit. I wish you'd come on before. I'm literally just heading off in a second, mate. We spoke the other day, didn't we? Yeah, no, it was like I said, just to end it, it was diabolical. I put on a short. I don't know if you guys saw this actually. Ice, ciao amico, cheers a Torres. I put on my I tried to do like a match report, and and I wasn't in the best of moods at the time, because obviously we'd just lost. And basically, I put my match report of Brentford versus Liverpool, and then I put something along the lines of, does anyone remember that scene in Jurassic Park where Jeff Goldblum finds the dinosaur and goes, "That's a massive pile of"? And I was just like, yeah, that would describe Liverpool's performance. See you on the live stream. Bye-bye. Because yeah, honestly, mate, it was so bad. Yeah. So bad. But yeah, thanks, Spirit, as well. Like I said, dude, I'll be back on for live reaction on Wednesday, so I hope to see you then. And then I'll be on a couple of days for Liverpool on Saturday and Sunday, hopefully. I'll be also like I said, I'll be back on at some point in the early hours of the morning or tomorrow, but that's for wrestling. That's for Monday Night Raw. Last one, do Kratos' voice. I can't do Kratos' voice, mate, but I can try Bane if you would like. The fire rises. We must get rid of Arna Slot. Yes. That's Bane from the animated Harley Quinn, by the way. That doesn't sound it anyway, but yeah, cool. You'll never walk alone for life. See you soon, bud. Yeah, see you soon, pal. Right, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been awesome, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.